Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James JC Cooley, and I tell you, the name of the show is It's Your Life. And sometimes doing that, we have to talk about life. And this is going to be, I give lectures and speeches on this all the time. And Dr. Michelle Cooley is going to be in control of the show today. And I think she got an absolutely fantastic guest. What would you say, Dr. Cooley?
I know we have a great guest on the show today. And it's Dr. James JC Cooley is the guest. Yay. Should we clap, Todd?
Yeah. The whole crowd is excited.
I know. They're really excited.
Hey, Todd, I don't know if I should be a little nervous about this because I haven't even seen the transcripts or the scripts or anything as related.
I'd be nervous if I were you. You better answer correctly.
I don't know any other way, Todd, any other way but to answer correctly. And I'm excited about this show today. And this is something that I haven't done on air or television, radio before.
Right, here we go. We're locking it in.
All right.
Your Life is sponsored by James JC Cooley.
Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James JC Cooley. I'm excited about today. First of all, we had a wonderful weekend. Just getting back in California, Michelle and I was in Temecula, California last week, and went to the studios and hung out with Todd and our KCBQ family last week. And I tell you, had such a wonderful time. And I hadn't been in the studio in 3-4 months, and it was nice being back there for 2 shows. And but Todd, I'm excited to be back, and that was back in my element, where back on my routine, get my workout, get my 6 miles in, and etc. So I'm happy to be back here. How you been doing, Todd?
Oh, I'm always good. And yes, it was a great visit. Seeing you face to face, great having you in the studio, just like the old times. I don't know how you did that drive back in the day, 5 days a week. So, but you did it. And but no, you're back in your element, and I'm excited for today's show.
I'm excited about today's show, and of course, we can't even get started without having the executive producer and a co-host who's also going to be the host today, Dr. Michelle Cooley. How are you doing?
I am doing great. We got this amazing guest today, and I think the audience is familiar with him. And we're going to talk about one of the topics he does on his speaking tours. And we're excited for him to kind of break it down.
Wow. I tell you what, so can you please tell our audience the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Well, the title of today's show, audience, is Love, Investment, Family, and Empowerment, and the acronym is LIFE. So Dr. James JC Cooley, he discusses the acronym of LIFE and why these are important elements to having a happy and a productive life. Know yourself, accept yourself, and love yourself. Being invested in yourself. Who do we allow in our world an authority to empower yourself? So Dr. James J.C. Cooley is a retired Navy officer, entrepreneur, best-selling author, community activist, and motivational speaker whose primary focus is on youth development. His slogan, dream big, think big, be big at everything you do, has inspired audiences during his speeches to the military, Rotary clubs, churches, boys and girls clubs, etc. He's the president and CEO of JC Cooley Innovation Solutions, LLC, and the JC Cooley Foundation Options and Opportunities, the Choice Program. And he is the international host of It's Your Life with Dr. James JC Cooley, primetime syndicated 7 days a week. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about himself. So please, Dr. James Cooley, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Well, that you hear the crowd cheering for you. But you
Well,
know,
I'm in shock. I did not. I mean, you brought a whole audience here today.
I know. I
I'm excited to
know.
be here. I'm excited to talk about this. I think it's something that we probably should have talked about before and give people an understanding what life is. Life. And as
Yes.
you put it, life stands for love, investment, family, and empowerment slash uh, employment. So I'm excited to be talking about this, and it always when I am speaking on this in front of audience, it always prompts some in the audience to think about: Are you living a good life, or are you getting the fullest out of what you're doing, and just a lot of other things? Because I think this topic is so important that it hit every phase of one's life. So,
Oh, most definitely. Most
so
definitely.
should I be scared that you're interviewing me? I have not seen any questions. I haven't seen any.
No, no, this is really educational. This also motivate and inspire the audience.
Okay.
So, let's start from the beginning. How did you come up with this acronym of love, investment, family, and empowerment slash employment? What triggered you to create this? And what were the resources that you use? Let's start with that.
Okay. So I came up with this life when I was writing my first book, well, probably my second book, Country Boy, City Boy Journey That Ain't Over Yet. And as I was writing that book, I looked at some of the things that I had went through for the journey that probably if I had an understanding of life in general, that I could have avoided some of the pitfalls that I was going to. But I looked at everything from the past that had gotten me to that far, for as writing the book, and the elements that I came up with in life: love, investment, family, and empowerment. Was, to me, it was just so amazing that I had to try to formulate that and put it in a book and put it in. So I wrote a whole chapter in Country Boy, City Boy Journey That Ain't Over Yet, that introduces life, and it breaks it down on the different parts of life.
Wow. So let's talk about the first letter in this acronym of life, love. Now, everyone knows what love is, but can you kind of break down the specific topic of love and what it means in the context of the discussion today?
Well, first of all, I would like to play this video right here.
Okay.
Then I'll talk to you.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do. If you can see it here, you can do it. You might not be able to see it with the physical eyes. But if you can see it here, you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. You all are the future leaders of tomorrow. I am a leader. I am a senior. I will be one of the leaders of this world. So, if you know yourself, and if you love yourself, you got the confidence, you can share yourself, you can be who you are. It doesn't matter if you short, tall, fat, big, whatever, black, white, pink, gold, purple. It doesn't matter. You step up with confidence. You are a masterpiece. You are leaders.
Wow, powerful, powerful. So let's get back to the question before you played this amazing video, love. Talk about love in the context of this discussion today.
Well, love, where I was going when I identified love as the beginning of life, is just like I mentioned in the video. You have to be able to understand and love yourself and like everything about you, whether it's good or bad. Because we all are going to experience some things in life that's not all pleasant. I'm talking about, it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor. And we have to be able to understand that in order for us to get through certain things, it starts with oneself. And what I mean by that is you identify the things, good, bad, or indifferent. The pros and the cons are moving forward. But most importantly, so you get a chance to know yourself, your honest self, your truthful self. So that's important in love. Then you have to be able to accept what that is about you, good, bad, and indifferent, and live a truthful life. And third, you know yourself, love yourself, accept yourself. That's when love, you have to love the package that God gave you, everything that he gave you. And mindset had to be that way as well. And because knowing yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself, then you're able to share who you are. And you're not a phony. You sharing you. And the only person that knows who you are is the person that you love yourself. So it's important to me to be able to know yourself, love yourself, accept yourself before you share yourself.
Wow.
That's what love is all about. And that's the first acronym that I utilize in life. That's the beginning of life. I tell you, we got to take a station break. But I know we're going to come back and Michelle going to hit me up with a lot more questions. I'm not used to being on this side. I don't have a problem in being on the side, but I got a lot more to talk about. And if you want to be part of the conversation, regardless of which platform that you're watching us on, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man.
Yeah. Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history? Most
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, You know, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Dr. James JC Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, sitting here on the other side of the gun, where Michelle is interviewing me, and I tell you, I mean, I'm enjoying this, and I got so much to talk about. I know she's gonna throw a couple of wrenches at me, and I'm ready. I'm ready. So if you want to be part of this conversation, all you got to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on, to the comments portion, ask any questions that you might have, or pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Our KCBQ Studios, FM 96.1, AM 1170, the answer. In San Diego, we'll patch you through. So I'm ready, Michelle.
Oh, here he comes. You know, you in the last segment, you talk about knowing yourself, loving yourself before you share yourself. So why do you feel that it's difficult for some people to truly know who they are? That's part A. And part B is, do they allow others to dictate to them who they are instead of embracing it themselves? What are your thoughts on that, James?
So that's a good question, by the way. A lot of people don't get an opportunity or chance to know themselves because they are busy trying to be what somebody else think they should be. And so whichever the way the wind blows, that's where they're going, because that's how others should see them, and that's it's locked in their mind. It's kind of, I call it imposter syndrome. If you're trying to be something that you're not, or you're trying to live up to somebody else's standard and not truly love yourself or know yourself, there's no way that you can get an understanding of who you are and what truly who you are, or the purpose that God planted you here to be, brought you in this world to be. I believe that we all have purpose. And the first portion of purpose is understanding yourself. Understanding, as I mentioned in the first segment, is understanding yourself. So I believe that's so important.
Wow. You know, Dr. Sandra Stansel, she has provided a comment. She said, can you give an example of how you learn how you learned about yourself, who you really are? And this goes into knowing who you know yourself.
Well, I can only speak for me. And, you know, my upbringing was, I mean, I can't say it was bad. But as if you know my story, read my books, you know that my mom had 10 kids by 6 different fathers, and she was never married. And as I mentioned, that my mom couldn't take care of all of us, so she picked 2 of the kids. Number 6 was my brother Jerry, and number 7 was me to move to Alabama with my aunt and uncle. And I tell you, at 6 years old, you really don't know yourself, and you really don't have a foundation. You are doing what you are told to do. But what happened to me, and in this case, is I went there, my brother Jerry and I stayed there for 5 years. And the things that I wasn't doing back in Chattanooga, Tennessee, I didn't have to do anything. I'm talking about it was game related projects, everything. To going to Alabama with my aunt, uncle, and my grandmother, it was things that we had to do. I'm talking about like gather the water, firewood, hunt rabbits, food. Pick cotton, all that stuff. And at the time, I did not know who. I'm building on who I am. So the perseverance of growing up doing this and having structure, some kind of structure in your life, and having chores. I wouldn't call them chores. You had to do it for survival. And initially, I didn't be able to do it, but as I grew and learned the routine and listened to my uncle Robert and my aunt Jean and my grandmother, it was challenging learning these things, but that's when I discovered who I am.
Wow, that's amazing. And how harmful do you believe it is when people don't truly know themselves and they live their entire lives by what others think of them, or to basically that imposter syndrome you mentioned? How harmful is that in not knowing who you truly are?
Well, you can, in my opinion, it's going to be hard for you to truly, just like I mentioned, understand purpose or your purpose. And it's going to be hard, in my opinion, for you to really hang on to success unless you was already born into success. I'm talking about wealth and all that. Because most people strive to get there. But if you don't know who you are and you going by what everybody else wants you to be, I'm talking about, I wouldn't say everybody, but that imposter syndrome. I gotta act this way because that's what they expect me to do. Or I gotta do this because they used to seeing me doing this, and you know that that's not none. So it's. I think that's a challenge, and I think a person really don't get an opportunity to fully enjoy life from from the perspective that this is who I am. These are my values. These are my core values. This. I love me. I love me. I don't care what anybody think. I'm just gonna be real. You already know me, Michelle. I don't care what somebody else think about me, long as I'm doing the best I can to live life right and be honest, honesty, integrity, and ethics.
And that's very important, living life right. Some people say they don't care what other people think about them. That's great. However, as long as you live in a righteous, a good life and treating people with kindness, love, and respect, we're all human. We're not perfect. So we're going to make mistakes. So it's good to listen to what people say about maybe, let's say, your behavior, and kind of analyze it yourself in order to know yourself better. I'll give you a perfect example. If someone says, oh, you're not you, but someone says, oh, you've been really rude, or et cetera, you have to ask yourself, is that true? And it goes into my next question. How important is it to be honest with yourself and not think that, oh, it's everyone else's problem, especially when you have a lot of people saying the same things? And also to embrace your strengths as well as your weaknesses. Can you answer that, please?
Absolutely. And if you got many people saying the same thing, and you the only one don't know, and I'm say case in point, you go in this room, and somebody say this about you, And then you go 2 days later, you go into another place, somebody saying the same thing. And next day you go into another place, that's something that you might want to think about. I mean, we all kind of become legend in our own minds sometimes, but if you're truthful and honest with yourself, you will sit back, I believe, think about it, look at the situation, and like, I went to 3 different places and everybody's saying the same thing. I need to refocus on this, make sure it's not me. But many people won't do that. They would go down, fall in the sewer, thinking that they are the only ones that's right about everything. Everybody else is wrong.
And you can't grow that way. You can't grow as a person if you don't accept your weaknesses and basically acknowledge them and do what you need to do in order to be a better person. You know, some people attack, they get on the defensive. Oh, they're just jealous. They'll make excuses. Oh, they're just jealous. They don't like me. This is just how I am. Okay, but you're not going to have a lot of people around you. You still convey a sense of negativity. And I know we got about less than 2 minutes before the break, but what are your thoughts on that? Especially being comfortable in your own skin to accept criticism or critique.
Well, just like you said, this is just how I am. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to do this. Sometimes change is necessary, especially if it's the right change. And stubbornness sometimes lead a person to failure or even worse than that, because, again, just like we had mentioned, some people are stuck in their own ways and they are the only ones right, and no one else can tell them what to do. And that's a recipe for failure
and disaster.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a station break, but I'm enjoying this conversation. You know, I think that Michelle picked an absolutely wonderful guest. And I tell you, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. And I promise you, go to the comments, put any comments in there that you might have. We'll get you an answer. Or you can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Remember, it's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
The JC Cooley Show. It's your life. The JC Cooley Show. It's your life. That's
roadmap to achieving the American dream. This is a must listen for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet, is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James JC Cooley, and I tell you, it's a pleasure being on the other side of the camera. I mean, where somebody else is interviewing you, and you're able to explain a lot of things, like what we're talking about today. We're talking about life, love, investment, family, and empowerment. And I believe that's the secret sauce to life, because it's encompass all of those four pieces. Yeah. So, wow. Hey, Todd, I think we lost Michelle for a second, but what do you think about the show so far?
Oh, the great guest, man. This guy is so wise beyond his years. No, but in all seriousness, a great show, and I can see why you're a life coach, and you have such a good perspective on things, and so I learn a lot always when I'm running your show. But this is a very special show where people can get a little bit more insight on James Cooley. So I'm really enjoying today's show.
Yeah, and as we was talking earlier about the acronym, like we talked about love. I truly believe that the only way that life perspectives happen is getting an understanding of you and loving you. I'm talking about, good, bad, and different. Todd, a person had to get an understanding of them, accept them the way that they are, not try to pretend to be somebody that they're not, and tell the truth. Always honesty, integrity, and ethics means so much to me. I try to be honest about everything. Um, it's a challenge when people ask you something and they expect you just to throw some things out. And Michelle knows that she cannot ask me anything. And if she asks me what I think, I'm going to tell the truth, regardless of what this is what I believe, this is what I think, this is how I feel. Hey, Todd, you might didn't hear what I just said. This is what I believe. This is what I think. This is how I feel. That does not necessarily mean that those things. So that loving yourself requires honesty and integrity and ethics in what you do. And so I want to go to the next phase of life. Investment. A lot of people think investment means money. Now, to an extent, it does. But in my acronym, in my book that I wrote about this, investment means investing in yourself. Investing in yourself. Whether that's education, whether that church, or whether that just investing in people, helping people out. I'm talking about, in my case, with my nonprofit, the JC Cooley Foundation, I get a thrill in investing in my nonprofit because we are guiding and leading so many of our youth and our young adults by investing in them, letting them know that you can. You can do anything that you set your mind to. But you can't do unless you want to. And want to. And investment means that you have to be willing to step up, be willing to, do things that might be against your mindset. I'm talking about like helping others out. You have to be willing to share. You have to be willing to learn. A lot of things that I mentioned in investment is all of these things are so important to growth, to getting a better understanding of who one might be. And so investment is powerful, and we have to continue to do that through life. And Todd, let me say this: a lot of people feel that they made it. They reach a certain point, and they don't need to invest in themselves anymore. Like, hey, I'm already here. I don't need nothing else because I'm already there. Well, in my opinion, we're never there. At least I'm not. You know, never there. And I have to continue to improve education. And Todd, as I mentioned to you, I went to school like 35, almost 40 years. And I'm afraid to stop investing in that because that keeps you current. And, it keeps you around these young, bright, and future uh, uh, leaders of the world. That's going to be. But in order for you to help guide them, you have to invest in yourself, and they have to invest in themselves too, where you're able to guide them. Todd, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think that's true. What you're saying, it's important. And I think kind of the key in a lot of this is what you've been talking about today about, investing in yourself is the I in life, and loving yourself. It's knowing who you are and being your authentic self. And boy, if you're not, that takes a lot of energy to be fake. And so if you're your authentic self, you have more energy to be yourself and to help others.
I believe that is so true. But most importantly, Todd, what you just said is energy in yourself so that you can help others, and that you can be that mentor, or you can be whatever the situation might be. And so, but you have to be knowledgeable and have an understanding to refocus your mindset.
Wow.
I see Michelle is back.
Yeah. Yes. You're talking about investment or life acronym. So investment is hard for some people because you have people who are surrounded by people who uplifted them, who cheered them on. But then there are others who were not raised or brought up in that type of environment, or life's trials and tribulations that kind of knocked them down. So, what advice would you give to those who are struggling to invest in themselves because they have been temporarily beaten down by the trials and tribulations they have faced in life?
Well, we got a break that's coming up,
Okay.
but I'll answer that real quickly. Sometimes we have to sit back and refocus. Remember when I said all these things coming? You sit back and somebody tell you this and that and all this other. And somebody tell you that 3 different times, 3 different events or whatever. You have to sit back and think about these things, because every time someone tells you something, doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I tell you, Michelle, we got to take a station break, but we're going to come back. I see Dr. Sandra's got another question that she's asked, and I tell you, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments on whichever platform that you're watching or something. Ask the question. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or you can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James JC Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In a Black man's point of view, Dr. James Cooley
Dr. James JC Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And I'll tell you, I'm thoroughly enjoying this interview, this show. And Dr. Cooley, Michelle Cooley, had put together another masterpiece. And she is a masterpiece. And so are you. You're a masterpiece. You're a masterpiece. Know yourself, love yourself, accept yourself before you share yourself, because you're a masterpiece. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Michelle.
Thank you, James. And we have two more letters to discuss in the acronym of life. We discuss love, we discuss investment. We're going to talk about family next, and then we're going to end with empowerment/employment. So, Dr. Cooley, family, people hear the word family, think of, brother, sister, mother, et cetera, biologically related. But what does family really mean in the context of this discussion?
Okay, family, to me, in the context of this discussion, is we all need family. We all need family. Regardless of what type of families that we might have. As you already heard, a lot of times you don't want to invite that uncle or somebody else to any family gatherings or meetings, but they are family. And family means so much to me, to be able to bring in and accept, because you are part of that. You're part of your sisters, your brothers, your mother, your father, your uncles, all that. And you don't have to be like whatever that is that you don't like, but you still have to understand that. Case in point, Michelle. Not throw this in because we watched the Game of Thrones almost
Great show.
almost every night, and you see the dysfunctions in some family members that are there, where they willing to kill each other, and all this other type of stuff. But family in this content, meaning that acceptance, acceptance to certain things. I'm talking about like family members, not acceptance to violence, not acceptance to any of those things. And I believe that family is not always blood family. Family is people that you love, that you trust, you done brought in your center circle. Case in point, Todd. That's my family. Been my producer for 6 years. I mean, yes, he's incredible. He is family to me. But being able to bring family together, surround yourself with people that you trust, and also certain family members, you have to hold them afar. You can't let them in your world because they're going to destroy it.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because one of the questions I have is about letting certain people into your world. Now, of course, we're all human. We deal with a lot of people every day. But why is it important to be cautious about letting basically everybody into your world? What can you kind of talk about that before we leave off with empowerment or employment?
Okay, now you already know that I talk about circles, and we ain't talking about circles today. But case in point, you at the center. You are the center point of your circle. You are the person, whoever that is. Now, you want to surround yourself with people that you trust. Now, sometimes that's not all family. I mean, some family members should not be in your circle. But the center circle that we talk about is surrounding yourself with the three. I wouldn't say more than three. It's got to be It's got to be an odd number that you trust. That they know your secrets, they know you, they know everything about you, and they can represent you. You trust them so much, and that they can represent you when you're not there. That's family to me. You're not there, and you need somebody to fill in for you at the time. Your family members can do that. Now, if you bring everybody in that circle, you're gonna be betrayed. And everybody's not in your own best interest. So, but that's another conversation about circles. But you got to be careful who you let in your center circle. I said don't let more than three people, and sometimes the people in your center circle is not your family, but they are your family in that circle.
Well, let's leave off. We got a couple 5 minutes before the closing of the show. Let's talk about, okay, audience, we talked about love. We talked about investment. We talked about family. We're going to end off with E, empowerment/employment. What does this mean, James?
Empowerment, meaning that many people, they sit back and they want people to tell them what to do. I mean, everything. I mean, tell them what to do. And I call this my 87-10 theory, 87-10-3 theory. And just a quick synopsis of that is 87-10-3. Each one of us fall into one of those categories. I mean, I'm talking about regardless where you at in the world. Where you at in the world. Each one of us fall into one of those categories. Michelle, let me ask you a question. Pop back in. If you had to put yourself in the category 87-10-3, not knowing what I'm getting ready to say, which one would you put yourself in?
You know, I know what you're getting ready to say because we talked about this since we've been together. But you know me, I'm a question ask. I ask questions. You know, I ask questions. So I'll be in a 10%.
Okay. So for the audience out there, 87-10-3, regardless of where you at in the world, regardless if you pick 10 people from random, I'm talking about just go and pick them, they're going to fall down 87-10-3. And if you picked 100, you picked 1,000, you picked 1,000,000, it's still going to fall back in 87-10-3. 87-10-3. Most people in the world fall into 87-10-3. That means they're average and ordinary and below. And they would do anything anybody else tell them to do. They make the your leader. And they're going to fall.
Hold that thought. Is that a negative thing, though?
I think I'm not 87%. I mean, you're going to do what anybody tell you to do. So they do anything that they say. 10% of, so that means they're average, ordinary, and below. And they're always going to be in that category. 10% of the people, or kind of like what Michelle said, they are upper middle class, whatever, managers, supervisors, whatever, they lead. But then they lose focus on leading because if the boss told the 87%, take this chair, walk around the building 15 times and put it down. 87% gonna do it and look at it to watch. 10%, you tell that 10%, take this, walk around the building 3 times, put it over here. 10% gonna like, you crazy, that's stupid, that's whatever, you know. And so come back to 10% because we got 2 minutes. But a 3%er is go by what we call the golden rule. And the golden rule is whoever had a gold rules. And so they're in charge of the company, CEOs, all that other type thing. They call all the shots. And they only care about profits. They don't care about none of this other stuff. So they have the middle managers doing all these things. But I tell you, 10%ers have an opportunity to become a 3%er by asking questions, like Michelle said. If you don't know why you're doing something, ask the question why and get an answer. But I tell you, we toward the end of this show. This was good, and I did not be able to finish 87-10-3. But I tell you what, I'll catch you on another episode. And if you want to be, and I'll tell you what, I want to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley. I'd like to thank Todd. I'd like to thank the people, our viewers, most importantly. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life.
It's your life. Dr. James JC.
Where do you want?